Hey, Chaim. I guess there's a lot going on today, so I'll start off with Barnes. Can you just talk about the decision to DFA him?
Yeah, obviously a really, really difficult decision. The conversation itself was one of the more difficult ones that I've had. Obviously the DFA process needs to play out, and so there's limited amount that I want to say about it until it does. But I think more than anything, this is just a function of where we're at in the off season and with our 40-man roster. There are no easy decisions, and regardless of recent accomplishments, regardless of what they have under their belts in their careers, everybody on our 40-man roster it has real value. There's nobody that we can remove without losing them, and so that forces tough choices, and it's obviously something we've been working through all off season. And today we landed on Matt, but beyond that, it's certainly nothing negative about him. I think it's more a statement of where we're at the 40-man roster, and beyond that, I don't I want to see the process play out first before saying more.
Obviously there's a lot of more unproven relievers that are in the mix, or Brazier, Mills, some of those guys. Like, how did you come to decide on him with everything he's accomplished and the the potential, obviously the stuff, the contract, all the factors into it? Why was he the right choice?
Yeah, good question. Obviously his accomplishments, look, everybody on this call knows what his accomplishments are, how much he's meant in this organization. And obviously I've talked about it many times over the years, how I feel about him and how highly I've regarded him. Yeah, and I think that just gets to being forward-looking with everybody else that we have on our roster, whether it's things that they showed about where they're at. In the case of Brazier, who's obviously been through some ups and downs, but finished the season really strong, and showed a lot that when you project it out ahead, is really encouraging. Or some of those younger relievers that you mentioned, who have options, who have more control, and who have plenty of upside. I think we've seen, and look, we all have our share of these. I have some of mine. Sometimes they're guys where the easy way out is to designate or to trade someone who doesn't have a shiny ERA or just got whacked around or doesn't have as much under their belt, even when all the indicators say that that's the wrong move. Usually when you do that, the game will punish you. This was not an easy move, but one that we felt was the right one. And really isn't anything bad about Matt, who I'm sure is going to continue to have success in his career, but just a question of where we felt we were, how we see the pen coming together, and what those other guys have a chance to do for us.
Can you discuss the trade with Kansas City today? And obviously Mondesi's a pretty talented guy, had some injuries. How do you see him fitting in?
Yeah, you said it. I mean, in terms of the talent, the athleticism that he has, it's really top of the scale of, I think, anybody who plays big league baseball. Obviously, he's had a tough time over the years with injuries, and most recently with this major knee injury that happened last May. He's still rehabbing from that injury, and we're going to take over that rehab. He's going to come from the Dominican to Florida later this week, so we can finish off that rehab. There is still a ways to go with that. I think, our expectation is that he may be a little delayed to start the season, but opening day is still a possibility. And with an athlete like this, I wouldn't rule it out. But just in terms of looking at what he can do, I mean, awesome defender. He can run. He has power. Obviously, the inconsistency of the opportunities that he's gotten has probably played into why he hasn't been able to tap into those tools consistently at the plate. But it's all there. He will show you everything that you would ever want to see out of a major league player, and really one of the better athletes to play at the big league level in recent years. So we're excited to get him in the organization, excited to finish this rehab, bring him along the right way. And he has the upside to really, really impact us.
Hi, I'm sorry for cartoons in the background. But real quick, does the impact of I guess Mondesi not being ready for the season impact you all just in terms of going after a person in the trade market again? Or are you guys all settled in the shortstop position?
No, we'd still love to add if the right opportunities are there. We really liked the upside of this opportunity, thought it made sense, and we are expecting him, whether he's on time or not, to contribute for the bulk of the year. But as far as how we look at, our shortstop situation, it doesn't change anything about, where we're headed and the opportunity in front of Kike. When Adalberto's back, we know, given his track record, I don't think we want to put too much on him. He'll be part of the mix. We'll bring him along the right way. We'll take care of him, and him being part of the mix will make it easier to take care of everybody. Like we've talked about all along, with a lot of these guys, if you get too greedy about what you ask of them, you may run them into the ground, and we're all really hell-bent on not doing that if we can at all avoid it. And that's just speaks to why we wanted to add as many quality options as we can.
You talked about wanting specifically a left-handed infielder. Does he fill that need, or do you still want another of those?
He can, but again, that doesn't mean we're going to stop looking, for ways to add. Will we? Obviously depends what opportunities are there. It's nice that he switch hits. It's nice that he has the ability to do a lot of the different things that he does. The skill set defensively is really a true shortstop skill set. So that, I think, makes us a better club, makes us a deeper club. But as we've been looking at different possibilities, it doesn't really cut off any options for us if the right move is there.
Just with the Duvall move being official now, can you just talk kind of about how he fits in, how much you see him in center field, and what kind of bounce back here you think he could have?
Yeah, I think we all, between me and BOH and Alex, we've probably been talking about this without talking about it for a little while, but very, very excited to have Adam on board here. Player we've liked for a while. Actually, when we were in the recruitment process with him, I told him that he was very much on our radar at the deadline in 2021, and that all kind of happened around the same time. And he went to Atlanta, and Kyle came to us. But a guy whose skill set we've liked for a long time. He loves hitting at Fenway. We've seen it way too much in other uniforms. Hopefully, he will love it just as much in our uniform. And plainly, put, this guy really has the ability to impact both sides of the game. He's got tremendous power, and that's something that, especially for whatever time Trevor's out, we may be a little lower on. So the ability to change the game with one swing is something that he has. That power, it's a type of right-handed power that I think could play really well in this park, where it's true plus power, where he can miss hit balls over the monster and he can drive balls out the other way. He has the ability to do all of that. And then defensively, he's been really, really good. I think probably has been one of the best corner outfielders in the big leagues. Has the ability to play center. Obviously, we talked about it with the Mondesi edition. Making our club deeper is going to allow us to take care of him, so that he can be effective for us out there in center field. And we do expect him to play out there a lot. Something that he's excited about. Something that Alex and the staff are excited about. It doesn't have to be all on him, but he can be a really big part of the solution out there.
How important is it to add guys like you mentioned, Duvall and Mondesi, that have proven themselves on the major league level, to give Alex the options and have that depth, like you said, going forward?
Yeah, it's an essential part of any club. Obviously, you need your frontline players to perform like frontline players too, to have a really good year. But we want to have a roster that is functional at all times, that fits really well together. I think there were points last year, and look, sometimes injuries can back you into this corner. That happens, but you want to minimize the amount of times that does happen. And there were points last year sometimes where it didn't fit together as well. And we think these two guys will push us in a direction of having the roster fit together so that it's the whole is greater than the sum of the parts on a nightly basis.
Chaim, with Taylor gone, do you envision potentially pursuing another lefty reliever?
Yeah, it's possible. There's certainly more of a lane for one at this point. And I should say also, obviously with Barnesy, obviously much longer tenure here, but Josh also has been a big contributor recently, and not excited to see him go, but it's obviously part of making trades in this business that you have to give to get. He's on a good track coming back from the back issues he had, and sure he'll do good work over in Kansas City. We will continue to look, if the right opportunities are there, for the pen. I don't think we have to have multiple lefties out there, but we certainly want to make sure we're well equipped to get both sides out. But as I said, I mean, some of it we were going to want to give opportunity to the guys that we have and let them step up. The talent is there. A lot of the underlying things that predict major league success for pitchers are in place for a lot of these guys. Sometimes you need to just give them the runway to do it and stick with them until they do. And the game often rewards you doing that. So it will create opportunity both for the guys who are here, but also potentially for outside additions.
How is Duvall's wrist, and will he be ready for the start of spring?
Yeah, he's fine. Surgery ended the season last year, but that was a fairly common procedure when that type of injury happens. He's full go. He's doing everything he should be doing at this point in time. We'll, I'm sure, take care of him as he ramps up for spring, but full go and expecting no delays.